happy it has
Howdy
piss all
everyone,
to
it's
do with
me
you.
once again,
And
the
then when you're all
one
smug and done,
and only
I'll
Killer
show
Ram.
you how my
So
boots
for
learn to
today's
shut a
video,
mouth in
you
a
guys
denny
just listening
alley.
very quick here, where I'll be talking about some obscure, low budget
That
films.
was
Let's
sort of
often do. And for
romantic.
this one, I'm just
Yes, how
talking about one
utterly
movie
charming.
and
On
to
this,
to be
try
more
me.
specific. But yes, I've talked about multiple low budget features quite often before, obviously. So this is something I've done before, and I liked it really. I like talking about these old movies. Secret of the Shaolin Poles is the name of this film. Yes, I'll be discussing a kung fu feature again. If you haven't noticed,
Nothing to
as if
report,
that
sir.
wasn't obvious enough. I've been talking about this kind of genre before, but since I've done several videos in a row talking about this genre, so why not another one? Anyway, let's talk about the plot, shall we? It gets pretty crazy, as you might expect when it comes to these type of movies. So, okay, the main. Let's just say that there was a certain character that dons the this kind of martial arts hero, of course, in this film. But the thing is that the government in the time period in this part of Asia does have a huge bounty on the head of this character, and just put it that way, of this
I've seen
individual.
bigger castles fall,
Many top
but not
fighters
better.
and the
Inquisitor?
generals from the said government do
Hello,
attempt to
Inquisitor.
ambush him, but let's just say that things get pretty crazy. It gets pretty dramatic in its own little way, as you might expect, of course, as given the style of the story. And yeah, it gets pretty dramatic. In some ways, it gets pretty crazy overall. I just showed this definitely is a
Consider it done.
dramatic type of a kung fu movie. So yeah, we get to see that these characters, they believe they have to do the right thing in their eyes. But our main character, he's definitely in in a heap of trouble. But our main character must make sure that he
I am
stays
here.
safe somehow. But nothing's gonna be safe here. Definitely nothing here is gonna be safe whatsoever. It never is at all.
There are
There's always gonna be
47
some
ways
kind
to
of
purify
trouble
wyvern venom to make it
throughout
safe for
the
human consumption.
storylines when it comes to these types of movies. So of course, our main character's not gonna be safe whatsoever. He's gonna be in a fight, a bit of fighting actually, as these movies tend to do, of course. And by the way, in case anyone was wondering, is that yes, again, I'm talking about the English dub version again. Even though the English dub version isn't particularly great, really, the English dubbing needs
Cassandra is
some
not
work.
settling into her new
I
role
can
with any
definitely say that.
grace, but that's hardly a
But
surprise.
alright,
She'll
so it's
perform
unfortunate the dubbing
admirably as
is,
Divine, I have no doubt.
isn't all that great, which happens quite often in these dubbed movies. So, that was that unfortunately. The dubbing needs some work. Anyway, that aside, when it comes to fighting, yes, of course, fighting is going to be well choreographed, as a lot of these movies tend to do. When it comes to like fighting, a lot of these tend to do really well with the fighting. I have choreographed. He's not super choppy like a lot of the more modern day action packed movies. Which, yes, of course, I've mentioned that multiple times before in various other videos, of course. And by the way, folks, for anyone that was wondering, uh, I do have a playlist just of kung fu movies. Just let you know. For anyone that wants to see me talk about nothing but kung fu, I do have a playlist of just for the specific genre. Just so you know. But anyway, what I would say is that this is a really good
Mother
example of
must
the
be
genre of
very
kung fu.
pleased.
Yes, it
If I
gets
see
pretty
her again,
straightforward,
I
of
will
course,
have no
but
choice but to
the
do
people who made
every
this movie
single
does
thing
attempt
she
to
commands.
give it
I feel
a solid
certain
enough
what happened
story.
at the
So
Temple
it
of
does
Mathar
what it's
must
supposed to, I suppose.
somehow have been
Yes, of
her
course, our
influence.
main character is in heap of trouble. Like, who's gonna win at the end?
Perhaps she's
You're just
influenced
gonna
more
have to
than just
find
what
out
happened at the
and
temple.
watch the movie
With
yourself if
Corypheus,
you wanna
mean?
see
He
with all the
does have
hubbub
that elven
about,
orb,
see how this
which he had to
rolls out,
acquire
of course, when it comes
somewhere.
to fighting, of course.
Yes, I
This is
see.
definitely
It's hard to
is
imagine her motivation for doing
centered
so.
around our main character. He's supposed to be
Then again,
youthful,
everything about her is hard to
and
imagine.
of course,
I suppose we have little choice but
he's
to
charming
proceed
in his
and be
own way.
thankful she
But
assisted us at
yeah,
all.
that's definitely is a thing there. The general
You seem to know a
is
great deal
that
about
individual.
elven
Let's
lore.
say the general is
The
definitely
Dalish
a
are not
man
the
of
only ones
influence.
interested in the distant
Of
past,
course, the
Inquisitor.
general character is
Indeed, my
definitely is one
skills
of these
allow
type
me
of people
access to places the
we don't
Dalish
want to
dare
mess
not
with.
even dream
But our
of.
main character
The
feels like
ancient
he
elves
must
hold secrets
do
they have
something
not
about
yet
this,
given
of
up.
course.
Secrets
But when it
about the
comes to the
foundation
storyline,
of
it's fairly
Thedas itself.
straightforward. I won't give away too
Thus,
much,
they are my focus.
really. This does have a
Corypheus clearly
solid
feels
job,
the
of
same.
course, when it comes to the overall story. And I'll admit that. The fight
Do you
scenes take place
trust
in
what
various
Flemeth
areas,
told
of
us
course, which is
about
nice,
what she is?
obviously. The soundtrack is actually pretty good, though. The soundtrack for this
I
movie
am
is
uncertain.
pretty,
I knew there was
it's
more
pretty
to her
good.
than I realized,
I
but
guess
she
my
is
only
not
gripe
truly
really is
human.
that, again,
Yes. I once found her
like a lot of
grimoire,
these
and that
movies
is
I've
where I learned
watched
her
and
immortality
reviewed
was gained by stealing the
over the
bodies of
years,
her
it's a bit
daughters.
grimy.
Flemeth
Of
claims
course, the
I
picture quality
misunderstood.
needs some
It is
work.
not forced on the
Of
unwilling.
course, I'll definitely say that.
Meaning
The
I
picture
might
quality
agree
just
to such a thing?
definitely needs some work. Just throwing it
Impossible,
out there.
yet there seemed an
But
undeniable
anyway,
sense of truth
so as a
to the
whole,
things
when it
she
comes to the
told us.
story and the
All my
characters,
years spent hunting for
it's not well
arcane
done. It's
mysteries,
well done
and the
enough that it doesn't
greatest
bother
was
me
the
too much
one
that
I
the picture
left
quality needs some
behind.
work. Yes, since so much kind of gives a charm to some extent, I guess. Yeah, but the thing is that if you want to have a
I'll
high
leave you to the
definition
garden.
TV, it's going to
Until
be
next
definitely
time,
be
then.
noticeable that a lot of these movies never really left the VHS tape era. Even though you can find a lot of these on DVD. So there's that, folks. And yeah, that's the thing though. I find that kind of weird when a lot of these American companies transfer these movies onto DVD and from Blu-ray. They don't even bother cleaning them up a bit. I don't know why, but there you go. I suppose that's a thing for whatever reason. I guess. Yeah, the picture quality needs some work when it comes to that, but again, it doesn't really bother me too much because there's some enjoyment when it comes to these movies being in VHS tape, I guess. Anyway, the acting was good enough. I thought the acting was good enough. It was passable enough to make it enjoyable, I suppose. I didn't like the fact that the dubbing it was pretty bland as hell, but still, as a whole, the the movie experience for me, it wasn't too shabby, I suppose, and whatnot. I thought it was a solid enough feature. I would recommend it. Anyway, I'll give this film an overall rating of a 7.010, because 7.010 for me. Of course, as always, watching and take care. Until next time, see you, yeah, later.